Previously, I detailed how to get to Fox Village. Due to their proximity, I recommend visiting both Fox Village and Cat Island in one trip. But for the sake of this video, let's assume you leave straight from Tokyo. The route will generally take this shape: Tokyo to Sendai, then Sendai to Ishinomaki. From Ishinomaki, you will take a ferry to the island. If you have the JR pass, the only part of the trip you will have to pay for is the ferry. If you pay for the Shinkansen to Sendai normally, you'll be looking at about 11,000 yen one way. On a budget, you could try an overnight bus for the part of the trip to Sendai instead. On this particular site, I found a one-way ticket from Tokyo to Sendai for as cheap as 3,300 yen, but the price will vary. Just a warning, there are some Japanese people who doubt the safety of long-distance buses because there have been instances of crashes, but this site was recommended to me by a Japanese person who said they trust this company because they haven't had any accidents before. I believe they are part of the JR company. From Sendai, there are two main lines you can catch. Both go once every 60 minutes and cost 840 yen each way. If you are unsure, you can just ask at the window to the left or right of the ticket barrier and just say you want to go to Ishinomaki. They'll tell you which platform number is best. Ishinomaki station is very cool. There are lots of anime characters about the place and on some of the trains. I had heard before going to Cat Island, there aren't many places selling cat food surprisingly, so it's best to go prepared. Luckily, right across the road from the station under the government office is a supermarket. I would recommend buying mostly wet food so the cats don't get dehydrated, and maybe a super special meat treat in the case that you make friends with a certain cat. From Ishinomaki station, you'll need to make your way to the docks. The boat leaves from a place called Ajishima line. I would personally say the distance is walkable, taking about 25 minutes, but you can also take a taxi or bus. By taxi, you would just say Ajishima line hacchakujo made, and on return say Ishinomaki eki made. If there is no taxi, you could ask the people in the Ajishima line building to call you one by saying takushii yonde kuremasen ka, which will be on your way back to the station. But there should be one at Ishinomaki station waiting already. It should cost about 1,000 yen per way. We took the bus from the bus stop right outside Ishinomaki station. We were about to just pay cash when we noticed right next to the bus stop was a little office selling tickets, which saved us a few yen, and we stopped in at the information center also right in front of the bus stop to see what bus we should take and what the times are. The bus you would need to take should have Ishinomaki Shinai on the front, and there is one that leaves from Ishinomaki station at 8:30 and 11:30, both of which gets you there just in time to catch a ferry to the island. Those that get to Sendai on overnight bus should have no problem making the earlier one to the docks because the overnight bus seems to usually get to Sendai at around 5:30 AM, and so you can catch the train to Ishinomaki station at 6:26 AM daily, arriving at 7:28 AM, giving you a bit of time to get to the supermarket. Doing it this way gives you about 5 hours on the island, which I personally wish I had. Those that take the Shinkansen early in the morning of the same day will be able to make the 11:30 bus as long as they take a service leaving 6:30 AM or even 7:30 AM would make it with about 20 minutes to transfer to a train to Ishinomaki. Doing it this way would give you about 2.5 hours on the island. The bus to the dock will drop you here, and you'll have to walk like this, taking about 3 minutes. I personally ran because I was worried about getting my ticket in time, but I'm sure I wouldn't have missed it. Here are the boat times. This box shows the trip to the island, and this box shows the trips returning. You only need to pay attention to these two columns. There are two columns because there are two stops on the island. One to the north called Odomari, and one to the south called Tashirojima. So for example, you might take the 9 o'clock service from Ishinomaki and get off at the first stop on the island, Odomari, at 9:38 a.m. Explore the island fully, and then at 3:33 p.m. take the boat from Tashirojima back to Ishinomaki. Taking the 3:33 boat back, however, there will be no bus back to the station, as the last bus from Ajishima line to Ishinomaki station is at 3:17 p.m. Taking the slightly earlier 2:12 p.m. boat will get you back in time for the bus. This is a picture showing the bus times. Here is Ishinomaki station, and here is Ajishima line. It loops back to Ishinomaki station. If you compare these times to the boat times, you can work out what you should catch. But be warned, yearly between 21st of November till 9th of December, there is a reduced service, and so the boat time that would normally depart to the island at 12 o'clock is not running, meaning only those who get there for the 9 o'clock service can make it, and the last return of the day leaves at 1:17 p.m. I will leave a link to this page in the description, so you will also be able to see if this changes. You can see that some services skip a place, as shown by an arrow, or are only from one island to another. Currently, the top diagram is the one with the reduced service, the bottom one is the regular schedule, which you'll most likely be looking at. If I remember correctly, the cost of a regular adult ticket is 1,500 yen one way. If you, for example, want to buy 2 return tickets to Tashirojima, you would say something like, Tashirojima e no oofuku chiketto nimai onegaishimasu. Since I've recorded this video, they've actually made a few changes to the diagram, so they no longer display the reduced service, so maybe it won't repeat next year. And for example, on the trip to the island at 9 a.m, it looks like it does not stop at Odomari and go straight to Tashirojima that time. So it's definitely important to always check the timetable. So we're back to the bus website, the bus to get cheaply from Tokyo and Sendai. So I'll show you a bit of how to use this. It can be confusing even if you are pretty confident in Japanese. So if you're going from Tokyo, it says please choose where you're leaving from. So I click Tokyo. And then in the case of going to Sendai, you need to click Miyagi prefecture direction. And then look for Sendai. So there it is. And the earlier you book ahead, you get discount. So it looks like they allow up to a 3 times multiply discount. And then if you book on the internet, this discount. And these are all overnight buses, so you can sleep on them. And that's all about each trip's like, they got blankets and stuff, and no smoking. And if I click here, it brings up another box. And then it's going from, that means the Tokyo area to Sendai. So I click go to booking. And then I pick the date. I'll see if there'll be any bookings here. So this is, you get to pick where you want to leave from in Tokyo. So this one is Shinjuku. And then this is Tokyo Station, the Yaesu exit, so the east exit, I think that is. And then Yokohama, and then Shinagawa. But I would probably go from this one if it was me. And I want to get off at Sendai. So let's see if there's any, there's some free seats for here. And it looks like that's the cheapest one available. I'm not certain about what all these things mean, but I'm pretty sure that one is for girls only. So if you're a guy, you can't click that one. And then the remaining seats are displayed. So that means a circle means there's 7 or more available, and if it's a number, it means this how many seats are left. So if I click this, oh, this is the time, so it actually gets there at 5:13 a.m. So I click this, and then I'll have to create an account. Oh, there it is. So new sign up. You have to click here to sign up for the first time. So last name, first name in English letters, and then last name, first name in katakana. Birth year, birth month, birthday. Your sex, male or female. In the case that you don't have a Japanese address, you might have to just use a friend's, just because it forces you to put one in. And create your user ID. Here it needs to be from 7 to 11 characters, and yeah, and that's the example of a good ID, user ID. And then password is 7 to 10 characters. Put your email address here and repeat it. And then I think here you put in your secondary email address. Not sure what that means, but you can just leave it as no selection. And then this is your where you work, or what kind of industry you work in. And then your credit card number, the credit card month and year expiry date of your credit card. And then you press next. I can't show you any further than this, but if you can't understand it, you could get a Japanese friend to help you. But I'll leave the video here. Feel free to leave any questions in the comment section, especially if it's to do with any of these websites that I've shown. So thanks for watching.